Hello everyone, and welcome back to So Many Games So Little Time and this crowdfunding update, Kickstarter, Gamefound. Yeah, those are basically the only two that I'm covering. My name is Joachim, as usual, and as usual, I'm going to emphasize that there are so many games in here. Obviously, I'm not backing them all. Sometimes I might say I would back this, sometimes I say I would not, but this is all my opinion, I don't want you to make a decision and say, hey, you said this is cool or whatever. You need to make your own decision, okay? So let's start, shall we? The first project here is from Kickstarter. We do Kickstarter first, okay? And it's Explorers of the Woodlands. You can see it here. It's a forest-themed cooperative dice dungeon crawler for 1 to 4 players. Now, I think this is definitely a gateway game. It's low complexity. It looks cute. It's only 35 minutes per game, as you can see. So for somebody getting into the hobby, this would be a good game, I think. Like I said, it looks cute. It looks simple as well, not too complicated. And it also has some fancy looking stuff here and there, like the custom shaped hero meeples that look screen printed. You can see the power cards, pretty simple, right? To me, it's a little bit strange though. They say that you're exploring the forest, but basically you're just going on a path with some trees next to it. Doesn't really look like a forest to me, but anyway. Art is beautiful. The dice are a bit normal, just nothing special. But you can see this is just a game that you can play with kids, I think, mostly. And then maybe also with some beginning gamers, people who are just starting out. Yeah, so I don't think I have to speak more about this. It's pretty obvious. Just there's some videos you can check out later on. Let's take a look at these. Are these all the languages or what? Yeah, so it's a lot of different languages that they will be doing it for Kickstarter and retail. This is the shipping. You can see it here as well. If you live in France, it's a livraison boutique. It's gratuit, so it's free. The shipping, not the game. Yeah, so all the other stuff here. All right. Okay, so that's I've already forgotten it. That's Explorers of the Woodlands. Okay. Next up is Broken and Beautiful, a game about kintsugi. So an elegant set collection card game with a unique scoring mechanic for breakage and repair. This can be summed up pretty quickly, as to say that basically it's about pottery, and in Japan, it is Japan as far as I know, yeah, they basically, when something is broken, like a vase or whatever, they will put it back together, but they will use gold, so it'll look even better, or at least maybe not look better, but it'll definitely be more valuable. Okay, so using gold lacquer to repair broken pottery. So in this game, basically you'll be drawing cards, and you'll be deciding when it's broken to either repair it, but then of course that costs gold. But then if you repair something, it'll give you more points. For example, the example they give here is you have a plate and a cup. A cup will increase the value of the plate, will multiply its value by 2, right? The saucer. But then if it's broken, it will do nothing. But then if you fix it, the multiplier become 3. So suddenly it's a lot more. So basically in the game, you're deciding when to do what. And very important, I'll leave that with you here as well. You can play it for free for 60 days to check out if you like it or not. So I think that's enough. If you think this sounds cool, go and check it out. And shipping wise, you can see it here. The game itself also is not that expensive. Standard $16, deluxe $30. Okay, $75 is group pledge. So yeah. Okay, so let's move on because we have a lot to talk about. Then we have Castles by the Sea. In this magical sandcastle building game, brave little shoreys craft seaside homes while living in the shadow of looming threats. I like this. Actually, 16 days to go. That's good. That means it's the next month. Yeah. So, May. All right. I like this because first I thought this looks stupid. But in a way, I like it because on your turn, you're placing these blocks and you're placing your units. But then there might be some threats happening every round. I think they will happen for sure. and then they will knock stuff down and everything. So this is for sure something I think I would like to play with my students or my daughters, or just as a filler in between. So let's see if they, like, even this is the deluxe version where they have screen printed meeples, and the hazard are wooden pucks. And it's kind of funny too, because this is what you would see on the beach, right? Like a giant baby, a dog, and this is a kite, I imagine. Anyway, so how to play: basically 1 to 4 players, so you can play solo. You gather sand blocks, expand your kingdom, build the walls like I said before, and then you're actually doing it all kind of together, right? But then of course these hazards might happen and they will knock a lot of stuff down. And of course the way you're building stuff is also based on cards to give you points and so on. Anyway, there's videos here to see how it plays and so on as well, more in detail. This is the shipping. So shipping for me is quite okay. The price, $45 for the core game, $55 for the game and the expansion, and $65 for the deluxe. All right. So I'm definitely interested. Not backing at the moment because next month is going to be expensive if I do what I want to do. So I'll show you in a second. Well, not in a second. It's going to be a while before we get there. But there's a big one coming. Okay, 1-Up Dice 2, The Revenge. Now, as usual, you know I'm not backing these dice, but when I think they look cool, I'm going to tell you about it. Like these ones have 23 days to go, and it's already almost doubled its goal. So that's saying something. Basically, what it does is you have these 8-bit themed dice sets, right? You have these 8 themed boxes. You can see it's basically the Nintendo cartridges, but then they take the dice and they add all these typical 8-bit icons to them, and also the sparkling and everything, of course. But you can see here the shield, the skull, the sword, the heart. So, and inside is then a mini dice tray, or rolling tray, whatever. So it really looks cool. You also have the 1-Up and Game Over coins that are included, and all the different boxes have different art inside. So it looks really, really cool, to be honest. I tend to never back these because they're too expensive, but this one actually seems quite okay. $27 for just one of any set. It's cheaper than what's mostly happens. Oh, and the hero one. That is so Zelda. That is so Zelda. All right, I used to have that one. Yeah. So looks pretty cool. Check it out if you're into the dice game. $345 for everything. Yeah, I mean, you can go for it, but to me that's a bit whoa. Did anyone get that? I'm just curious. 94 backers. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that is and there's a lot of extra stuff as well, I think, down the bottom. Aren't there like pins and stuff or whatever? Playmats here. More different types of coins, animal pins, yeah, like I said, patches, slipcases, sticker pads. Yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff. Shipping, the States, the rest of the world is very expensive, so I think I'll opt out again. But you know, if you live in the States, pretty good deal, seems like. All right, then we have Autobahn. Now, first of all, Autobahn is produced in Europe. Okay, so you're gonna get a good deal on this if you don't live in Asia. So 14 plus, 91 to the minutes, 1 to 4 players. It's already funded, right? Yeah, almost triple its goal. More than triple, almost quadrupled its goal. And basically, to me, it feels like pickup and delivery meets Ticket a Ride. Okay, because you have this Autobahn here. You are building the roads, connecting different places, then you're doing pickup and delivery, but then you can also build service stations that might give you extra rewards and bonuses and so on, not just for your trucks but other people's as well. You can promote your employees, but then that's more like an area control because you can bump people off and so on. And you also have exports, which is probably the pickup and delivery part. So for me personally, I don't really like the art style. I think it's super busy. So I'm definitely not going for it, but I'm not going for it for the shipping alone. Something that I should mention as well is when you play these cards, right, the basic project cards, you would play them on top of your player board, and the player board would then decide how much they'll be used. So they have like 3 times, 5 times, 4 times. So you have to really decide when to play. So maximum 5 times, maximum 3 times, maximum 3, maximum 3. So that's very important to play these as well. Anyway, this sounds interesting to you, go and check it out. And you can definitely trust this company. But before I go through with that point, let me show you the shipping. Or real quick, since here anyway, play project cards, which allows you to build Autobahns or other things. Then upgrade your player board. You can do that too by placing the keys on other stuff, so you're unlocking it. Get it? Then promoting employees, which is, like I said, is more like a area control part. And then you build roles as well, like seems a bit like Ticket to Ride, export goods, and also service stations, which has this benefits. Okay, then it's shipping. It just says custom friendly, but it doesn't say how much. Sorry, it's here. I'm so stupid. Okay, so you can see here, rest of the world would be me. That's way too much. But in Europe, it's definitely more worth it. And this one will be delivered really quickly, by the way, November 2022, because they say they've already finished most of it. Okay, so, and finally, you can trust these guys because they have already done all these games. And yeah, so far they have a very good track record. You can see they've done a bunch of them. All right, so let's continue. We have Anastyr, who just launched like an hour ago when I made this video. And in the beginning I was like, another big box Minions game. Like, oh my goodness, I'm really not interested. And look at it here. No, I haven't backed yet. Don't look at it here. But I'm gonna back it. I'm planning to. Because what this is, you have your typical arcade beat 'em up games, you know, when they on the screen, and then you just keep going to the right, and then more enemies come in, you beat them up, and then you go to the next phase, and more, you beat them up, and you go to the next phase. Always with the arrows, ping, 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 right? This is Anastyr, but then in this huge setting, right, where the terrain constantly is moving. So it takes place in our distant pasts. Wait, let me just read this. Embark on an epic quest to save the world from the threat of Anastyr, King of Dragons, in this action-packed cooperative board game. So you're trying to defeat Anastyr, right? But what is most interesting is powerful heroes, whatever. Reforge the legendary world spear and save the world, But during your Odyssey, you will ride all kinds of mounts, domesticated and wild, and face hordes of enemies and warlords. The riding is interesting, and I'll get to that in a second. So there's a bunch of stuff. You get it for free if you do it now. $130 is the companion pledge. This is what you all get. You know, the dragon pledge is $160. You have this huge dragon, right? Saurus, but you can ride Saurus because here is this part is removable. And you can put in a saddle and then put the unit on top of it, which is kind of cool. Is that enough to buy a game? Of course not, but it is cool just to know it, okay? So, add-ons, game highlights, here you go. So, scrolling the adventure tiles, as I said, you move to the new area, and then a new area is added, and new enemies also invade that. So you keep going, and you can see the blinking go, go, go. Enemies will always spawn randomly depending on the cards that you have drawn, right? And then you're going to be fighting, of course, okay? So here at the bottom, you see the combos. Now it's going away, obviously, but it has these typical damages if you use them in this typical types of attacks. If you use them in a certain way, you have combos and then ultra combos, and then you have a energy, I don't know if it's called energy, but you have an energy bar on the side. If it reaches maximum, you can do your ultimate skill, like you always do in those games, right? And that makes it cool. It really looks exciting. You can see here, maximum explosion, this damage, and then a devastating havoc-wreaking power. Also, by the way, check the video of this game. It's pretty well made. The video in the beginning is pretty well made. So yeah, a lot of combos, like I said before. The writing, I'm sure I'll talk about it more later on. Like, these are the regular wild beasts, right? And you can tame them and then ride them. So you can see here the units, and then you put them on top of them, and then here they are. Okay. The miniatures, of course, look really, really amazing. This is Anastyr and also Volcar, her dragon. But even though they look awesome, if you're like me and you have tons of unpainted miniatures, it really shouldn't be a deciding factor. Okay. So there's more stuff for you to look at here, gameplay videos, people talking about it. And it seems like in general people are super hyped about it. This is the shipping, and you can see the shipping is not cheap because it's gonna be a heavy box or boxes. You can see here China $45, which is not among the cheap ones for me. But then there's other places that are higher. So I guess it's produced in the States and Europe, the cheapest ones. It's a bit odd that Europe and the USA are cheapest. It does have a star or an asterisk, but I don't see where the asterisk is. Whatever. Okay, so yeah, that was it actually. Yeah, and I think, is it already funded? Yeah, just almost. But like I said, it launched like an hour or 2 hours ago, something like that. Yeah, definitely high on my list as well. It looks really fun. Okay. Then, I went all the way down here. This is Don't Let It Die. Now, this game is basically apparently a game that has been kind of like revamped with new artwork and everything. I'm not sure. It's two people working together, and they're basically created this Robinson Crusoe game, kind of. I'm saying Robinson Crusoe because if you know that game, you know you're trying to survive. And it's similar here, as in you're trying to keep the fire alive, and you'll have 4 Neanderthals that will be your group of people. You're going to be planning, so you're trying to get to the final part of the knowledge tree, and then you win. But as you're doing that, you're trying to forage, you're cooking, you're crafting, you're trading as well. There's a bunch of stuff you're doing, fighting enemies. And I think the biggest appeal, most likely, is the artwork. And what's kind of funny is you see this artwork here, right? And that's why I think it's kind of like a reskin. This is all very special artwork, but then if you watch some of the videos, it's 8-bit artwork. So pretty much a reskin and maybe some changes probably. Okay, so if this looks like something that you think is cool, then check it out. You can see here, Don't Let It Die. You can see this is all 8-bit stuff, right? But now it's been this so revamped, I guess. Yeah, so check it out if you're interested. Not my kind of thing, but maybe for you. So here you see the shipping, and it just has flat shipping for everything, I guess. Because it doesn't say, they only say that they don't deliver in Denmark and Sweden. So there are no additional VAT or tax charges unless you live in those areas. Yeah, so we ship delivery duty paid to all countries. Yeah, okay. So I guess this is the approximately, so maybe it can change, yeah. Okay, so you can see they also have bundles, by the way, where you can add a bunch of other stuff. You see the different games that he has made in the past, okay? And one game that seemed to be very popular was the, here. This is the Get to the Checkpoint, which basically is an over-the-top action movie solo dice game, highly replayable and very well received. You must lead your squad through various jungle zones and reach each checkpoint alive. So get to that checkpoint. Alright, anyway, that's enough for that one. Okay, the next one is Kobold Plushies. Now you can see what it is. You know, it's not a game, obviously. They're just Kobold Plushies, that's it. So I've never seen any Kobold plushies before, so I figured if this is interesting to you, then, you know, here it is. There's Kobold plushies, and I shall light the way with my fireballs. Okay, whatever. And other stuff. So it has details as well about what it has and so on. So if you're interested, check that out. I'm not going to talk too much more about it. But you also have STLs and everything. So yeah, very, very quickly that one. Then we have Kryptik Trading Card Game. A beautiful game developed by experienced TCG enthusiasts with deep lore and unique gameplay, tailored by the community. And look at the pledging already. They still have 26 days to go. and they already have 66,000 was the goal, so 66, and they already have 581,000, which is pretty crazy. So anyway, the art looks really, really good, and the gameplay, as you can see here, is very simple. You will be drawing a hand of cards, I think it's 4, and then have 7 year 11 cards, and you're basically trying to destroy the other person's year 11 cards. So when you attack them, when you successfully attack their year 11s, then they can either immediately do the action of them because they're just regular cards face down, or take them in their hand and maybe use them later on. But also otherwise it's the typical stuff. When you put attackers out, the defender can do defense, play defenders. You also have spells, so it's basically typical. All right, but you can see the art is really, really outstanding. And you can see every card at the bottom right has a certain I forgot, crystals or mana, whatever value, and then here is the cost. So you can see you'd have 2 whites and 1 blue, and the 3 that you needed to play this card, but this card in itself supplies this. So that's roughly how it goes. There's a how to play video on here if this sounds remotely interesting to you. And you can get all these boxes with booster packs and everything. Like it looked really cool to me. It still does, but I already have too many of these games, so I'm not gonna go over there. You even have foil cards in there and so on. So yeah, it looks cool, I have to say. I mean, I'm impressed. If I didn't have already so many games similar to this, then I would be really interested. But at the moment, I'm not gonna go for it. But you can see 900 people are going for it. Okay, then we have Chocoloco. Already reached its goal. The one at 1,000 already has 2,500 apparently USD, and basically it's Candy Crush meets poker. Actually, I wouldn't even say Candy Crush. I would just say chocolate meets poker. So basically, in the middle of the table, you have like a river, right? There'll be 8 chocolates, but then depending on the cards in your hand, you will also be able to have combinations, right? And also have actions, like you can move them around and so on. So it feels a little bit like poker, but then with these fancy cards. Okay, and then you can see here 2 pair, you get points, 3 of a kind, 5 different chocolates, and so on. So if you put them here, then this would be 3 of a kind. But if you put them together, then you can have full house, all that kind of stuff, right? So yeah, it's just a fancy poker game, basically. But if you also have foil promos. But if this looks interesting to you, then you know it is what it is. Shipping is here. It's also very cheap. The game itself, $29. So yeah. Then we have a big one, which is the DC deck building game 10th anniversary. I am personally not interested in this because I already have Marvel Legendary and I don't think I need 2, even though they don't play the same, I know, but I mean I already have too many games as it is. Just see my channel name, right? So anyway, so there's a anniversary, okay, and now they're basically re-releasing everything, and they've released so much stuff. So now I give you a chance to get it all together. With a campaign that looks to the future of DC deck building game while connecting to its past. And it has one of my favorite runs, which is the Injustice Gods Among Us. I like the comic. I like playing the games, the beat 'em up games. Yeah. So basically, it has a special cover as well for this Kickstarter. And then you also have the Flash versus Reverse Flash. Yeah. So check that out. You have the Multiverse box as well, which are storage boxes for your collection that are designed to fit sleeved cards and so on. So if you have this game, if you're interested in this game, check it out. It does get good reviews in general, and this is just even more stuff, you know, just a lot of stuff. If you're a DC fan, I'm sure this appeals to you. So yeah, check it out. I don't think I have to talk too much more about this. There's so much stuff here. All the way down, let's take a look. Where was this here? Just photos of people's collections. Let's take a look at the shipping. And you can even go up to 500. Oh, that's retailer. Never mind. But what is the cost for everything if you want it? $345, and then you get all this. All of this. The multiverse box. Another multiverse box. I know you have to choose which cover, if I'm not mistaken. The original set, the expansions, all this. Yeah. So it's a lot. So let's go down. We also have unlocked a lot of stretch goals as well. Where is the shipping? Here's the shipping. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff here. A lot of stuff. Like the Infinite, if you live in certain parts in the US, is expensive. Yeah. Alright, cool. So that's that one. Let's continue with Birds of a Feather. Now, Birds of a Feather has nothing to do with Wingspan, okay? But it is a funny game, and a game that I will most likely back, even though I have nothing with birds. I don't hate them, but I don't like them specifically or whatever. I have nothing with them, right? So basically here, when you look at Birds of a Feather, how does it play? It plays very simple, right? It's very easy to play. You choose a bird, first of all, you put it in the middle, right? And then you'll tick it on your board that I'll show later. But you also tick the other birds that are in the same habitat. So for example, these two blue birds are in the same habitat, so you would be able to tick off both icons in the top left corner. Then you play another card, of course all face down, and then you reveal it. And then you will have, for example, this orange one is in the same area as the other orange one, so the same habitat, so they would also score points. Only with the people next to you, okay? Not across. But if you play a raptor, then some birds will fly away and people will not be able to, well, birds of the same habitat will fly away and will not be able to score. That's very quickly said. But you can see here, this is where you tick the birds and you'll get the score. So it's very easy to play. You just need a deck of cards, have the app, you can just take it on holiday, whatever. It's very simple, but seems still also quite strategic, because when are you going to play this raptor? It can be very important and so on. And you get points for, when you see the dots, those are the points that you get. No. When you see the stars, those are the points that you get, and the dots are the amount of cards that are in the deck. So some cards, there's only one of them in there. So if someone plays it, it could really change the game. Very simple, right? It says here as well, light and fun, yet just enough there for more hardcore gamers as well. For like a quick filler game, I think this looks pretty nice. Now I did, like, the cost is just $20, right? That's it, just $1. Just $1, just $20. Okay, so what is the shipping? What is the shipping? Dun 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 dun. There's a bunch of stuff here as well. People who played before, the app here, play solo, cool. Boom, 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 boom. Come on, where's the shipping, man? Oh, here. So maybe I'll have to go for the app, because all others is $18. And yeah, so that's makes it $38. It might not be what I want. And something rare is actually a big pack of other stuff that's $120 US. Actually, I want to check what that is. Something rare. Where is something rare? Because that is a lot of stuff. Is it rare sighting? Here, yeah. Everything from It's a Bird. Okay, so the regular stuff. But you also get the app, stickers, print pack, and a wooden puzzle. Okay. All right, let's continue. The Dark Quarter. Now, I've already backed this. You can see here, it's 75,000 euros. It now has 579,000 euros. That is, so it's crazy. 6,000 backers already. Basically, to me, this is LA Noire, the computer game, but then fantastical in New Orleans, and also it's 16 plus, so it can be brutal, right? So it has Baron Samedi, the guy you see here as well, which I think is a cool character in general. So yeah, basically you're gonna be, it's kind of like sandboxy, but you're still trying to find out who did it. But you can see it here, right? The story, New Orleans is just like the setting, but then the murder was brutal and archaic. The detective in charge took one look, vomited into the bushes, and said out loud to no one in particular, "This is gonna hang on our necks like a millstone if we don't put it to bed immediately." So basically a call was placed out for outside help, but nobody wanted to help. So just the Beaumont Agency was there to consult, and that's of course who we are. Okay, so heavily narrative digital hybrid board game with characters connected to the story. The choices you make could result in their triumphs, deaths, or something even worse. So it just looks really cool in general. The minis, the artwork, the character boards also look really nice, and they all have like 4. It reminds me a little bit of Destiny's, especially the fact that you have like 4 tracks and the cubes are moving around. So it could have similarities because Destiny's is also Lucky Duck Games, if I'm not mistaken. So, but Destiny's was really good as well. I like that, even though I don't own it. I do like it. So yeah, I have heavy Destiny's feel here. So yeah, and everyone who has played it is super positive about it. Like even the dice have a Destiny feel, but the fact they're all unique, you know, like the characters, they feel very unique. Makes it really cool. Okay, so yeah, I'm very much interested. You can see it here, the whole damn agency. I pledged that already. Although, like I said, it's going to be an expensive month. I might go down to $1. Is $1 an option? Yeah, for Pledge Manager Access, because I'm going to have to start to spread things around, I think, because of something else that's coming. All right, so I'm looking for, here he is, Baron's MD, but also I'm looking for the shipping, because that would be interested. There's even more people, but this is the expansion then, I guess. Dun. I'm not going to stay too long about all this. Oh yeah, well, let's take a look at the rookie pledge. It's just these 2. Detective is more expansions. The whole damn agency is more expansions, plus the minis, plus the coins, plus the plastic tokens pack. And then you still have the typical add-ons. Shipping is what I was going for. A lot of people talking about it. Shipping estimates. Click here to visit the estimated shipping costs for each pledge. So here we have it. Even the whole damn agency pledge, the costs stay quite low for that many boxes, I have to say. Yeah. And actually for me it's more expensive than the majority of people. Well, not the majority. I guess Europe has it really nice. The rest is a little bit more difficult. Okay. Next, we have Paradox Initiative. Join the top secret Paradox Initiative and solve the puzzle of your Paradox engine to harvest worlds for study. So, watch the video. It's quite funny. So the Paradox Initiative, basically, there is multiverse, right? The multiverse, and you can see here on the board I have all these different worlds, and basically you're jumping into worlds from world to world. You're collecting cards, you're collecting this energy, the particles, sorry. Then you can then activate your cards and have like combos, but then your cards will only be on your board for a limited amount of time, otherwise they'll disappear again, because on your board you have past, present, and future. So if you manage to get all 3 cards of one world, you can get you bonuses and everything. Yeah, also what I really like, you have the Mad Lab Assistants, right? And it has a playmat box. So many games give you a playmat, but then no way to store it. So the fact that you have the boxes, really love that one. But anyway, let's go over a better how to play than what I just said. So you draft cards, you take the cards, they all match a world, right? Or you can also flip a switch, but that's something else. And then manipulate the paradox engine. So you're moving it around to get like basically rows of the same icon, same particle, 4 or 5 matching colors in a row. And then you can get some particles for later use, which you will then use on your cards to activate. You can see here past, present, future, and then danger as well. So you only have a limited number of rounds to focus the timeline before the signal decays and the card is discarded. Will you build your collection of worlds or protect worlds so that your collection will score at the end of the game? Also, once this marker is a glitch marker, so it will glitch worlds, but then there's another way to also heal those glitched worlds as well. Okay, So cards collected destabilize the connection between worlds. The glitch moves around the multiverse and number of spaces based on the type of card focused. So basically when you're scoring a card, you're focusing it, but then it'll cause a glitch. All right, so yeah, I think a mosquito bit me on the back of my head, and that's why I'm scratching. It's really annoying. All right, so anyway, there's a lot of different artists, as you can see, for different worlds, which I also love, you know, because that adds even more of a feeling that those worlds are really different, right? Bigger variety. All right, anyway, what is the shipping? Here is the shipping. HK is here. Okay, that's pretty cool. I like the idea of this game, but this costs already. What is it here? It is $39 for the standard box, $69 for the Paradox Initiative Deluxe, and $135 for the Mad Lab Assistant. Okay, so then we have Lost Light, a true 4X space experience that can be played in an hour. Seriously. Also, seriously, I had to redo this 3 times because I kept messing up the space experience 4X stuff. Anyway, basically, when I first saw this, I was like, I don't really like it. I don't like the way the planets look. I mean, I can see why. Like, otherwise you just have a token with a planet. And then here in the deluxe edition, you actually have actual planets that look different. But to me, it just looks like a bunch of lollipops. So that's not really for me. But that being said, it's just a personal opinion, right? It's just an art feeling, whatever. And you don't have to buy the deluxe. I think in the regular ones, it's just tokens. So anyway, 4X game that plays in an hour. Exterminate, expand, exploit, explore. So exploit, explore. So that sounds interesting, right? So the fact that these places also move are cool, because on your turn you'll be moving your ships and everything and doing actions, but then at one point it will change and suddenly your ships that were once safe are suddenly in a difficult or dangerous area. Also, you're trying to get to the middle because that's where the light is, and light is what everybody wants. No, it's not Destiny or Destiny 2, but you can see also here's the difference between the deluxe edition. You can see just icons and then things. And does it have the planets too, or the planets in every box? Oh, the planets might be in every box. Yeah. Okay, they're in every box apparently. So it is what it is. Okay, Infinity Deluxe expansion. Yeah, as well, same thing. More of the same. Why back now? You have all the exclusives, of course. Okay, how to play. First of all, you choose an action card to play, and that is what I like. Everybody secretly chooses one, and you have these 6 different ones. So it reminds you a little bit of TI4, Twilight Imperium 4th edition, but then really narrowed down, right? Just 1 hour. So research, mine, construct, trade, refresh, and command. If you do research, then you can increase your ship's modification. So then suddenly all your ships can do something. Like this ship can now bombard enemy planets as an attack, but here you have the cost. And of course, costing you're going to get through mining or trading and so on. So mine, get the resources through your extractors. Okay, but you can't use your extractors unless you've done construct earlier. So you can build extractors on planets or increase your fleet, right? Then you have trade, obviously. Refresh means you can take back the action cards you've played, because once you play them, they're kind of locked until you do an action to take them all back. So that's also important. And then command is you moving your ships and attack your enemies. Right. So it does sound very interesting to me. Not a fan of the planets. Maybe I am if I have the game, if I end up backing the game, because once again, the big one is coming. It's coming. It's the next game I'm going to talk about, and you've already seen it. But also, I like the alien races that he created. All the factions. I think they look pretty sweet. So yeah, I'm saying he because I might have mentioned it, but it's one of the people from the I was going to say the Dice Throne, the Dice Tower, Roy Kennedy, right? Don't know much about him because I stopped watching the Dice Tower a long time ago. I mean, actively, I would just watch the top hundreds, honestly. So here he is, the top left. Really cool he did it though. And don't we all want that one day to create our own game? Okay, so here's the shipping as well. So for me personally, Hong Kong is not there, but I guess it's China, Taiwan, Singapore. So it's pretty good compared to everything else. And for you, you can check yourself, of course. So this is definitely on my radar. And how many days? 17 days left. Like I said, next month is going to be expensive. All right. So So then we have the big one, Sleeping Gods Distant Skies. Now, Sleeping Gods Distant Skies is not that expensive, but I don't have the original Sleeping Gods, and I want it all. And if you want it all, then you're paying $333. Yeah. So actually, I've got this now, and I'm talking to people asking, is this really worth it? And I'm hoping people are going to tell me it's not. But just really quickly, right? Really quickly. If you go to Board Game Geek and you type in Sleeping Gods, Sleeping Goths, right? And see the score, it gets 8.5, right? 8.5. And apparently it's also awesome solo. So for me, that's like freaking heroin. I don't even do drugs. So candy to a baby, you know? So this is a standalone sequel. So of course you could say, why don't you just buy the sequel? Because it might be better than the first one, right? And that's true. It says here, fantastic solo play, hundreds of branching quests, a vast new land to explore in the world of Sleeping Gods, no need to have played the original game. So I could just back the second one. That is true. And maybe I'll end up doing it, you know, and then maybe try to find the first one somewhere else. But the first one is very difficult to get as it is. So I kind of want to just have both of them because I'm pretty sure I'm going to love it. So yeah. In this case, the expansion is your... Oh, this is the another expansion. Let's see. So, smash my already high expectations. Radical freedom is simply put stunning. Apparently, it's really a true sandbox game. You can do whatever, it seems. And the consequences and everything, like it says, it was nominated in 7 categories in the Dice Tower Awards, Game of the Year, Best Score, Best Solo, Best Production, Best Artwork, Most Innovative, Best Theming, Best Game of the Year. Yeah, so yeah, it has foreteller as well, which is interesting. So if you just go for everything new, it's 128. Distant Skies in itself, without the extra stuff there, is 85. Retailer, okay, you can't get that. The original pledge is 205, and the collection pledge 333. Yeah, so it is what it is. So what is it all about? Finally, Joachim. You explore a massive open world, right? Go in any direction, reading stories, having adventures, and it's a book. So you just turn the page and keep going, right? In this case, fly your plane to reach faraway places. You have 5 characters on their journey, dangerous enemies, search for helpful gear and treasures. Learn the game by playing through a comic book intro as well. It's pretty sweet. And there's a lot of stuff in there, right? 172 pages storybook. Okay. 522 cards. What else is there? Yeah, it's just... And you also have some mechanical reviews that you can check and everything if you want. But yeah, for me, I can't wait to get this. I can't wait to get this. Is there anywhere shipping to be seen? Here we go. Shipping estimates. Okay. But of course, it says here for 1 copy of Sleeping Gods Distant Skies Collector's Edition. If you order more, it will be higher, right? So, but for me, it's really cheap. So that might be another reason. Because if I buy it later from somewhere else, it's going to be more expensive. And I think for this, the value will definitely hold. But now I sound like Board Game Co. Okay, so that's enough for Sleeping Gods. My wallet. And this is another one, man. It's going to be a crazy month next month. Because all of these are going to end then. And this one I like. Assault on Doomrock Ultimate Edition. When I saw this picture here, I thought this looks stupid. But then I read up on it and I did research. Never do research, man. Just if you think it looks stupid, go away. Just go away. Don't do anything else. Because you might end up backing it anyway. Because this one I think is cool. Because first of all, you have a hero, right? Or multiple heroes. And they're not perfect. Because nobody's perfect. So, for example, the monk here is clumsy. And then somebody else might be scared. Somebody else might something else. And I like that already that you're combining it. And then you have location cards here where you'll be exploring stuff. And there's going to be a timer. And when the timer runs out, you fight a big boss. So you're trying to get skills and everything. You're doing battles with lesser enemies. And it's just cool. It looks really cool. The art is nice and everything. And it's the Ultimate Edition. So for example, this is the, what is this? Pig Riding Commander. What? So it says here 1 to 4 co-op solo, 60 minutes. You're challenging the evil in Doomrock. Unfortunately for the land and its people, there's just you. What could go wrong? So navigate a 3-act fantasy campaign filled with exciting exploration, critically acclaimed combat, and tough decisions. And it's not easy. That's known. It's not an easy game. Brutal but fair combat, right? And also it says 3-step campaign, but apparently you can easily save it. So there's also that. Yeah, so boom. I'm gonna click to new to Doomrock because it's just gonna take me to the bottom of the same page, and it says how to play. Right, so you generate your you generate your hero. You embark on an adventure, right? Traveling, making decisions, right? It says here, you'll make decisions that could change the fate of your entire adventure. Should you touch that no catapult? Definitely. So you have choices as well. You have cards that might affect everything, you know, loot rolls and everything. Scared monk, as you can see here, different buy, but you can also steal items and so on. The dice I also like, they're custom. The art, like I said, is really nice. So you're basically improving your dice pool as you're going along to finally fight and these baddies, right? So your plan, you'll execute, and so on, so on, so on. And then you have, of course, the second and the third act. Okay. So what does it cost? All of it? Because I went down quickly from here. All in pledge is 166 euros, but that is literally everything there is, right? Simply Doomed is 77. Doom Rider pledge 91. Roguelike pledge is 116. Roguelike actually adds a box that treats it as a roguelike. So even if you die, you will unlock new cards and stuff and get stronger and try again. So it's a typical roguelike, right? Like Hades is one of the computer games that are like that. So yeah. That's it basically. I don't think I have to say anything more about it. Did I talk about shipping? I don't think I talked about shipping. So let's take a look at shipping. Here's the shipping. All in pledges and everything. But for me, this is actually bad, so I might not. Oh well, Asia. It says Asia, but I guess it's okay. I thought it was the rest of the world. Asia is still a little bit better. Yeah, so this is definitely on my radar as well. But with the other ones, I don't know if it's gonna make it. Okay, then we have Lawyer Up. This does not interest me at all, but maybe it interests you. Basically, it's a lawyer battle, okay? So one person is the defense, the other one is the other party, and you're just trying to win a case. And there's going to be like phases where you're presenting evidence and also burying evidence and that kind of thing, right? I didn't go into detail. You can see it here is a oh, I don't know why it was selected, but you can see like an overview of what it kind of looks like when you're doing the case. This is season 2 already, so there's a lot of stuff that you can look into and do research. The content, however, is a celebrity divorce, a private eye, casino heist, and also a solo expansion, so you can play solo now. Okay, and then Workaholic is just all of the seasons together. Yeah, all of it that's released already. So yeah, so just check it out. Divorce case here, private eye case, and so on, so on, so on. What about the shipping? Here, it just says shipping zones, and then the price there. So it's a bit too big to show on my screen, both of it. But zone 1 is the States, Germany, UK, China, Macau, and Hong Kong. So yeah. All right. That's it. Then we have Bedeville Carnival. I talked about this earlier, but it hadn't released then. It was just upcoming. Now it is ongoing, right? And it looks cool. I gotta say it looks cool. And the video is quite funny as well. Quite interesting as well. I think so anyway. Now I'm doubting myself. Anyway, I like it because I think this is also more of a game for maybe Gateway. Because it's not too complicated, seems like. But what you're doing basically is you're trying to collect these joy tokens, these skulls in the middle. Because if you have these, then you can use them to get the souvenirs, which will give you points at the end of the game. And that's the goal. But then you also have every area you visit has an action that you can then do. So you can, you also have Mr. Carl, who might kick your butt when they move around. So same thing with his acrylic flea bag standee, with his flea bag cat, basically. They're going around too, but you can see here, move Carl by the number of, I don't know what that is, ticket, equal to the exclamation mark on this ticket plus 2. But basically, you can move them around and then mess up other people. You're messing each other up, trying to make sure that you get all the attraction cards, the souvenir cards to get there. And it just look at all the stuff, right? It looks cool. It looks really nice. And I hope, okay, I'm really happy because the plastic insert looks cool. But if you don't have this on top of it, it's a mess. So that's really good. Collector's Box Edition only on crowdfunding, including exclusive content that you won't find in the retail version. Right, so Mind of Doom opens soon, so you can check that out. There's in these languages, all of them. All right, how to play. So it just says here, you know, they use Cindy as an example. She goes around, she has just enough joy to get the souvenir, and then she goes off to a new attraction and gets the souvenirs, the joy from there. So she, first of all, spends joy to get a souvenir, goes to a different location, takes the joy from there to use later on. But then there's an action here that says that she would move Carl, swap Carl with another person, so she can swap them with somebody else. So basically, other people will mess with you on their turn. And then she still has another bunch of stuff that she could do, but she ends up with 2 of these souvenirs, and they will add up to the joy. And then whoever with the most, at the end, whoever has the most joy or points basically wins. I just like the way it looks, and it looks pretty simple. I think people will most likely enjoy it because is it a game that you'll play 10 times in a row? I'm not sure about that. But I think it would be a nice filler. It's 45 minutes, right? So it shouldn't be too long, especially if you know how to play. And you know, for Halloween, seems like a good game. All right, so timeline. They would say delivery Halloween. There you go. So if it works, then yeah. Very strange. There's no shipping anywhere, so you have to click the FAQ to find it. Shipping prices estimate is here. So don't know why it was buried here, but yeah. So here we see the shipping estimates. I'm going to go down a little bit because you can see EU with an asterisk. Here are the countries, and also rest of Asia has an asterisk. So Hong Kong is pretty cheap. So I think I might get this anyway, just because of the price as well. All right. So, we're already at an hour almost. So, well, before editing. Okay, I have 4 more. Then we have Phraya, I guess. Phraya, yeah. Another, I would say, gateway game. Worker movement, pick up and deliver, commodity speculation. So basically what you're doing is you are going to be, okay, you can speculate with the market. Okay, I think this is probably one of the most interesting parts of the game, that you can mess with the market and the value of things. Aside from that, it's pretty standard. Pretty standard as in you, first of all, it's pretty, right? It's pretty, it's nice. But you play a card and then you move your boat around, okay? And you can do the actions that it says. And then when the boat moves around, you can also, well, it depends on how many rowers you have, but then you can get both stalls that are next to your boat, whatever it says on the side. So you can see here, the boat will get here, the boat will get both sides, the rewards and so on. So, and all that together is the game. Basically, you're moving around, moving your boat, doing actions, and manipulating the market. That's it. Okay. So, but it's not, what, 42 euros. Okay. It looks pretty nice, pretty cool. There's a lot of unlocks that are still coming. Wooden resources, tug box, and everything. Custom game trays. Here's the shipping. Spain and Germany 8, so it's probably made there, I guess, because it's the cheapest. EU, rest of Europe, USA, Canada, Asia. So for me, shipping wise, also not very interesting. But yeah, that's the game. There's videos you can check as well. I think this should be a good, decent gateway game, to be honest. Then we have Space Lion. I'm not getting this, but I want to talk about it because it is kind of funny. Funny as in remarkable. Because if you look at this picture, right, you can see already in action. You have the boards, right, and then you have the cards on each side of the board. So basically, let's say you play with 4 players. You have 3 enemies. But to you, only your neighbors matter. Because you'll be playing like 7 Wonders a little bit. Only a little bit. Because it says, first of all, okay, let's do it like this. Choose an army, and then you plan and deploy units. So the units will not only be put in the middle, where you're fighting everybody else, but also on your left and right side, where you're fighting the other people. But you can only play 4 units. And it's going to be very difficult to win every battle, because you have a limited amount of cards. So you have to choose which battle you want to win and when. You're also trying to destroy the towers and the bases of other people, and once someone loses all their towers and bases, they lose. Alright, so I'm pretty sure this will have player elimination. So you can see some of the cards here of the different factions and everything, the armies, right? It says here 22, 22, 14, 15, 14. Okay, is there another picture of the game in action? Well, here's the shipping in the meantime. Quite expensive in general, seems like, unless you live in the States. Yeah. Okay, so no real other pictures, but you can watch the videos, you'll see it there in action. I think it looks okay, but it's mostly interesting because you're fighting on 3 fronts, basically, and so are all the other people. So you're constantly thinking what they might do and then react to them. That's what it comes down to. Oh yeah, then we have Blade Rondo. This is good for you if you like anime. If you like anime and 1 to 2 player games. So in this case, it's a 1 versus 1, or you do solo against the deck. So what are all these? I'm not going to talk about what you are, necessarily what the story is behind it, but basically each box of these, because there's a ton of boxes, has like characters in it with special powers. I guess there was a 5 Stunning Games one, then I have to stop here. There you go. There's even a bigger picture later on, but they all have characters that you use. The 2 boards you see here is for your life. Your life is at the bottom. Then you have attack, voltage, and defense, which these cards will give you as you're playing. But you'll take a deck out. You'll take 7 cards, and those will be your cards for the game. So games, I imagine, only take 15 minutes, so they're very, very short, right? So limited printing plus extras. Okay. Once again, if you like anime, this is your jam. And these, like you see, 7 cards, and then you basically attack each other, right? It goes into detail what everything is, but yeah, I think the art carries this a lot. If you're into this theme, I'm sure then people will be very much drawn to it. See here, Legendary Swordian, $125, all 5 games. Limited Anthology plus playmats, foil cards, art compendium, and more. That's everything that you want. Then you can mix and match as well what's still there. Is there anything else at the bottom? Here's the shipping info, right? So pretty cheap for US and Canada. Even rest of the world is still cheap, actually, but depending on what you're going for. But for 1 box, pretty okay. Okay, and then Japanime Games basically try to give you the finest games of Japan. All right. Okay, so that's this one. And then we have the last one for Northwood. which is a trick-taking game. It's an award-winning solo precision trick-taking game. Your objective is to peacefully unify the Kingdom of Northwood through conversations with their rulers. Light yet highly tactical for Northwood is a treat for both solo gamers and fans of trick-taking games. And it's true. Because I thought this looks nothing for me. This is too simple, whatever. But as usual, I do research and then I look like this. So how do you play the game exactly? It's pretty simple, yet complicated. First of all, you put these cards out, 0 to 7, right? Then you shuffle the leader deck, and then you put one card on top of each one, so you can still see the number at the bottom. Then you have all these leaders that you have to convince. But you'll also have 4 leaders that are in front here. You can see these 4, and they are your allies. They will help you. Now, it's a trick-taking game, okay? So it's going to have numbers and everything, okay? And and how do you call it again? Suits. I have numbers and suits. So anyway, let's say you want to convince this number 2 here. You want to talk to him and you want to convince him to come over to your side. Then you're going to be having this deck of numbers and a bunch of number cards in your hand. And the 2 means that you would flip a card and you have to try to win the trick. But to convince this person to come with you, to support you like these 2 are already doing, you need to win 2 tricks. Not 3, not 1, not 0, not 4. No, 2 tricks. Otherwise, he's not going to like you and it's going to be a fail. Like number 6 here, because that's turned over. Okay? So you're going to have to try to make sure that you have just 2. So you can do that by having your allies help you, or these 2 here who already help you. And how do you win tricks? First of all, if it's the same suit, you have to play the card. Okay? No option. But if it's if the card you're playing has the same suit as the leader, then you instantly win. If this is a different suit. So that's basically the rules, okay? And then once you go through the deck here, in the end, if you have 2, he'll slide down and he'll help you. If you don't have 2, you'll flip over and you failed, okay? So at the end, when actually this one is not failed because he has a crown. This is a good thing. At the end, when you've finished, okay, have you done everything? Then you hope to have all the ones with a crown, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the way it is. You can check, there's a bunch of videos there, but that's basically what it comes down to. Yeah, thief visits, rule, trump. Yeah, I've talked about that already. Dun dun dun. La 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 la. You'll need them to win. Yes. 4, okay. That's already done. Continue visiting all 8 thieves, winning over the rulers and calling favors from your friends. Each thief 1 has a victory point value. Sum them up to get your final score. Okay. Alright, so nothing to do with a crown. Okay, so it's very cheap. $15. That's it. Or you can go for ruler for Northwood. And then your name is on the side as well. So just, you can add your name for $10 more. And also, very interesting, you can add a lot of games. Like some of these are really cool that I know of. Like I've heard very good things about Maki, very good about Orchard, Black Sonata as well. And I checked, it is cheaper than Amazon, at least in Hong Kong. So that might be another way. And plus, you can try the game online. Just go here, just click on it, and then you can go and play and try it out. All right. And that's it. Then you have a lot of videos still there. The shipping is here. Okay. And I like that. In many cases, it's just really low in general. Okay. So yeah, that's it. Those are all the games that I'm going to be that I talked about today. I'll be back in about 6-7 days roughly for a new batch. And yeah, so tell me, what were you back of the ones that you've seen? Are you backing any? Do you disagree with me on certain things or not? Or do you agree on certain points? Let me know. Is there any projects that I've missed? You say, why didn't you talk about this, man? You can do that too, okay? And maybe I'll talk about it next time. All right, that's it. My name was Joachim, and always will be. This was So Many Games, So Little Time, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.